Headphone jack has a short in it. Walker and John. So we'll be right back. No, it's $3,299.
Is Blake calling in, or is he going to be in Baton Rouge?
For 7 generations. He's Blake Miguez, and he's the only MAGA candidate for U.S. Senate.
My grandfather, he started the shipyard and built a simple 16-foot boat. You know how he sold his boats? He looked in the person's eyes, he spoke to their heart, he shook their hand, and he gave them his word. The reason why I'm running for the U.S. Senate is to protect
Is Miguez calling in, or he's going to be with you?
Our grandchildren.
All right.
Because at the end of the day, the most selfless thing that we do is raise our children to be greater than us. All this amazing success that we're seeing from President Trump would not be possible if Bill Cassidy would have got his way and President Trump would have been impeached. God always blesses us with a new leader. He did that with our president, and look at the amazing work that he's doing. I can tell you that if someone gives me the honor of being their voice in D.C., I'm never going to let them down. People from little villages can go big places. I'll never forget who I am, where I come from, or the people on the bayou who sent me.
I'm Blake Miguez, candidate for United States Senate, and I approve this message. Paid for by Blake Miguez for Louisiana.
From Baton Rouge to Lafayette, Monroe, and across Louisiana, the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System is part of our community, delivering trusted care when and where it matters most. With more than 20,000 employees and 1,100 adult and pediatric medical providers, FMOL Health is one of the largest healthcare systems in the state, serving more than half of Louisiana's population while staying committed to the same mission of healing that started more than 100 years ago. Learn more at FMOLHS.org. That's FMOLHS.org.
Did you hear that? That's the sound of a propane burner starting off another epic tailgate. I'm Miss Louisiana Gabrielle McLeod with some safety messages for your next trip to the ballpark. First, check the tailgating rules at your venue. Most stadiums have strict rules about when, where, and how to tailgate safely. Propane is almost always welcomed outdoors, so make sure your tank is full or bring a spare. For more tips, visit LouisianaPropane.com.
LA 1305147.
Need guidance in a legal matter? Turn to the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Legal Authority, Glenn Armentor.
A simple 98-cent ballpoint pen. If you've been hurt in an accident at work or anywhere else, using this could cost you plenty. If you've been injured, don't sign anything. Keep your pen in your pocket. Because although it may cost only 98 cents today, you may wind up paying for it the rest of your life.
For answers to your legal questions, go to kpel965.com and click on the Legal Authority.
If you're hurt on the job or on the road, you should never consider settling your case until all of your symptoms have subsided and you're back to normal. In the case of a head injury, never settle until the injury has been fully evaluated.
This message has been brought to you by the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Legal Authority, Glenn Armentor. For free help with your legal matter, go to kpel965.com and click on the Legal Authority. Announcer is a non-attorney paid spokesperson.
LA 1305146.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Making sense and making noise, though not always in that order. This is the Moon Griffon Show.
Mike's hot.
To be with you, 844-766-6607. Matthew James, Tax Pro Hotline. On the line, we got Senator Blake Miguez. He's running for the United States Senate. And I heard that Bill Cassidy, Psycho Bill, called y'all a rhino of all people. Called y'all a rhino.
Good morning, Moon. I hope your listeners are doing well this morning. Isn't that entertaining? It kind of sounds like the pot calling the kennel black. If you look up rhino in the dictionary as a picture of Bill Cassidy's face, so I don't think he has any business pointing the finger at anybody else, myself or anyone else in the legislature.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of fun. But tell me, how did the real quick? We'll talk a little bit about the Senate race. I got a question for you, but I want to ask you, how did that go? For us, you and everybody else, and then of course Cassidy spoke as well.
Yeah, Moon, thanks for asking. We were over the weekend. We went up to Alexandria for the Republican Leadership Conference, and there also was the State Central, which is the state party's meeting, and all the U.S. Senate candidates got an opportunity to speak. And you just talked about Bill Cassidy. He was up there first. I followed him, and he was still in the room. And I'll tell you, I started off my speech by telling the crowd that my name and that I was running to replace Bill Cassidy in the United States Senate. And they were screaming and clapping with Bill Cassidy in the room. If that's not a clear message to Cassidy to tell him that he's going home and Louisiana wants a change, I don't know what is. But I can tell you there was some excitement in the room. I think what really touched the hearts of the people that were listening to my speech was me telling them that I'm a seventh generation Louisianan and talking about my Cajun French history and my Spanish history, and telling them how my wife, who's a public school special needs teacher, and I, 4 children together, beautiful children that we raised on some of the same lands that my ancestors settled nearly 250 years ago. Yeah, we talked about conservative values and how conservative I am and things I fought for. But at the end of the day, the folks in that crowd understand that the reason why I call Louisiana my home is because it's in my blood. I grew up on the bayou. My family's been here for centuries. And it's this whole race is about trust. And you could tell by the crowd. When I tell you an awkward crowd that didn't clap much for Senator Cassidy, he's lost the trust of the people of this state. He's lost the trust of our great president, Donald Trump. And right now, with the spiritual battle going on in America, and it's a good versus evil, and all the crazy things that we've seen, like what happened to Charlie Kirk, President Trump needs a strong leader. He doesn't need a weak U.S. senator like we have now that's just going to cave to D.C. swamp's demands in return for campaign cash. This fight is real. And I'm one of the few candidates in the race, maybe the only candidate in this race, who has young children, including a little infant baby, a beautiful baby girl. So the reason why I'm so passionate is because the America that they grow up is on the line. I'm going to fight like hell with everything I got for the people of Louisiana.
Yeah, I just found it interesting when Cassidy spoke. It was all about Trump, and he made a comment that it was without me, Trump couldn't have got 3 of his nominees across the board, which is a joke because let's just be blunt. If he had not been the senator and you or any of the other people running would have been the senator, they would have never had to worry about that vote. So he positioned himself to get the vote and then go out and brag about it, which I think is ludicrous.
I mean, look,
a top scale.
It was literally embarrassing. He had a life-size cutout of President Trump at his booth. He talked about President Trump this, President Trump that. He said something nice to me in the hallway when he was passing me going to the bathroom. I mean, it was that bad, right? I mean, it was desperate. Crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that he hadn't been on President Trump's Christmas card list since he voted to convict him on impeachment twice. Yeah. And President Trump can't trust the guy. And everyone knows that. And if that's all he's got, he's going home, Moon. I mean, the polls are very clear showing that he is going home, and it was embarrassing, I have to say the least.
Right, I just want to get your take on one question because people have been asking me, and I'm going to ask you the question dealing with the carbon capture. I know Flemings is against it, and he's been out there. But in your case, and they say, well, y'all voted for all this stuff. What do you tell people when they say, Blake, you voted for it? Well, I don't really know when somebody say you voted for it. Tell me in your own words what's going on with that.
Well, first of all, that's misinformation being put out by one of my political candidates, and probably from the Fleming camp. That guy didn't know what carbon capture was to this summertime. I mean, his office sits there on the 3rd floor of the Capitol, and he not once testified against carbon capture until he started talking about it on the campaign trail. But none the least, for the people out there listening, I am not a fan of carbon capture, and I have voted against it repeatedly in the recent years. I mean, I even went so far as to join a group of conservatives in the House, which is called the Freedom Caucus, which is one of the most conservative groups in the House of Representatives. I actually helped found it when I served there. And what we learned was, when we learned about it in recent years, we focused our fight on protecting private property rights. And we passed a lot of great legislation, but it wasn't easy. I mean, we had to fight those battles in the legislature to restrict the use of eminent domain, to make sure that these companies had to get common carrier status to run a pipeline, very similar to the oil and gas industry to run their pipelines. We even increased the rate of which they need approvals from private property owners to put caverns at 85% versus 75% in the oil and gas industry. We made sure that local government had input before they would issue these Class 6 permits for these caverns. And then the most important is that we made sure that local judges and local courts were the proper venue, and these type of disputes didn't show up in the 19th JDC in a state court. We saw during the lockdowns how that went for the people of Louisiana. So rest assured, for the people listening, I have been fighting with Freedom Caucus conservatives to highly regulate and protect your private property rights and regulate carbon capture.
All right, and I wanted to get you on the record as talking about it. Look, we got anything you want to add real quick?
Oh, look, I want to add that I'm running for the United States Senate because I want to protect the American dream for our children. And if you look at my background, I'm one of the most conservative senators in Baton Rouge. And I'm going to continue fighting for the people of Louisiana with everything that I have. I'm one of the strongest Second Amendment defenders in the nation.
Blake, I got to go just because of time. Thank you, man. Good luck to you.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. God bless.
The temperature's starting to fall, and so are the prices at Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Truck month continues. Buy a new 2026 Silverado 1500 and pay just $36,990, or pay just $35,990 with trade assistance. Take $13,000 off the MSRP on all new 2025 Silverado 1500s in stock. Take $14,000 off the MSRP with trade assistance. Plus, when you buy a new Chevy from Service Chevrolet Cadillac, it comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Hurry to Acadiana's #1 Chevrolet dealership. Our family serving your family. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, your Super Chevy dealer. 1212 Ambassador Caffrey near I-10. Stop by our logo on at servicegm.com. Chevy, together let's drive. 2026 Silverado custom package dealer discount $62.35, GM rebate $32.50, Chevrolet trade $12.50. 2025 Silverado dealer discount $87.50, GM rebate $42.50, Chevrolet trade $1,000. Chevrolet must be 2011 or newer. Exclude work truck package. Plus tax, title, licensing fees. Must finance through GM. In stock units only. See dealer for details. Offers expire on 11/3/25. Claims based on current GM data.
Have you recently cut a large check to Uncle Sam? How did that feel? If you're looking for a way to reduce your tax bills next year, especially if you're paying $100,000, $500,000, even more annually, listen closely. There are strategies used by the top 1% that can significantly reduce your tax burden. There are the same little-known provisions in the tax code that ultra-wealthy individuals and even members of Congress use. At Matthew James Tax Pros in Lafayette, they specialize in helping high-income earners like business owners, physicians, attorneys, contractors, and those in the oil and gas industry keep more of what they earn. If you're tired of writing 6- or 7-figure checks to the IRS, they'll show you strategies that could cut your taxes, sometimes by half or even more. Call us today at 337-895.
Fleming wants to call in about 9:50,
That's
so be looking for his call after this next segment.
Or visit
when I end this segment, be looking for it.
Take control of your taxes. Start today to make next April a lot less painful. Every tax situation is unique, and tax savings may vary.
Did you know the average garage door goes up and down more than 1,000 times every year? Local garage door expert Ty Greneau with Acadiana Garage Doors knows how to keep your garage door operating smoothly. Ty, why is garage door maintenance important?
We live in South Louisiana, a hot, humid environment. Things are just much more aggressive when it comes to metal material that we have here. So it's stuff that works out well in northern part of the United States. In the southern area, we have a lot of heat, a lot of humidity, which causes metal to expand, contract. When that door's going up and down, you want everything to go as smooth as possible.
Ty, when should a homeowner check their garage door?
You should be maintaining your door twice a year. Good time to do it is when the time changes. Lubricate everything that moves. You give us a call, we'll walk you through the steps. We're not trying to sell you on anything. If we can talk you through maintaining your door over the phone, give us a call. We'll be glad to do that and save you a couple of bucks of us having to go out and do it ourselves.
That's great advice. If your garage door needs more than regular maintenance, then call the expert, Ty and his team at Acadiana Garage Doors, or visit AcadianaGarageDoors.com.
Chasson Brothers on Pinhook next to the railroad tracks, serving Acadiana since 1933. has the complete line of products from Fertilome. Fertilome, local solutions for local problems with over half a century of total solutions. Shaston Brothers carries Fertilome all-purpose water-soluble plant food, organic Canadian sphagnum peat moss, horticulture vermiculite, and Fertilome orchid, as well as perlite tree and shrub food. Start and grow plant food, azalea and evergreen food, along with Fertilome Ultimate. Now's the time to plant fall and winter gardens, and Shaston Brothers, along with Fertilome, can make that process a success, taking care of not only plant health, but even diseases, insects, and fungus. Gardening is sometimes tough, but it's rewarding. And Shaston Brothers is right there in the dirt with you to make sure that whatever your gardening needs are, you're taken care of. Shaston Brothers on Pinhook and Lafayette, right next to the railroad tracks. Online at ShastonBrothers.com. Shaston Brothers, where Acadiana gardeners shop.
When you're hiring,
My clock's right.
have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Unfiltered, unapologetic, and unavoidable. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show.
Mike's hot.
Hi, hello, welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show. I'm on the road in Baton Rouge, in conjunction with our good friends at Talk 107.3 FM right here in BR. Guarantee Broadcast and Garden Rush, grateful they gave us the opportunity to be in this area. So let's talk a little bit about the Senate race. I know that a lot of the candidates got to speak at the Republican event that I did not attend. I can only get bits and pieces, and I'm not going to really go too much there. But Blake, of course, was one. John Fleming, Scametta, who's the Public Service Commissioner, he's in a race. Julie Emerson, Kathy Sidon. Okay, I'm going to say and I had Kathy on today. She sounded like a great candidate. Sammy Wyatt, and of course, lovable, enjoyable Psycho Bill Cassidy. And, you know, I was thinking, a lot of times in these races, we got to vote against somebody. And I know people are going to vote against Cassidy. There's no enthusiasm for Bill Cassidy. That's why they got to bring around Trump stuff and talk about Donald Trump the whole time. Donald Trump. Remember, he's the guy who put a knife in the back of Donald Trump. He loved him, then he hated him. Now he loves him again. He loves him when he runs, hates him in between, and loves him when he runs again. That's Bill Cassidy. I don't think anybody's being fooled by this. I don't think anybody's being fooled by that. Matter of fact, I know they're not. The people that like Cassidy's going to vote for Cassidy. I get it. Okay, that's fine. You want to do that. But he has no enthusiasm, folks. So here's what I'm saying. The only candidate in this whole thing with no enthusiasm is the current Senator Bill Cassidy. We got a choice. I just named the people. Kathy Sidon, Sammy Wyatt, Julie Emerson, Scametta, the Public Service Commissioner, Blake Miguez, Fleming. Folks, they got people in here that are all really running as conservatives that are, for the most part, are all conservative. You got a choice. You got a choice in the election to go choose between all these people. And by the way, just for the fun of it, the word is Bobby Jindal's got a poll out there. He's looking at the race. That's the former governor. So you got a race out there that's, and I'm telling y'all, Cassidy's voting base, which is gone, is soft. And one of the things that I told y'all, because I've seen polls, he was more popular with women, and now we got 2 women in the race. Kathy and Julie in the race. So now you got 2 women that somebody says, well, I might vote for Cassidy, and they go, you know, what about one of these ladies over here? I'm not pushing anybody. All of them are welcome to come on this program. All of them have been on this program. The only one I can't get to come on the program is Bill Cassidy. Been 6 or 7 years now. And I gave him, he's the only one I offered an hour. If I was the other candidates, I'd be mad at me because he's the only one I offered an hour was Cassidy. In person, of course. And they booked it and then backed out. Then blame me. How you like that? Book me for an hour in person. And then you go down to 10 minutes, you make a phone call, and I get blamed for saying I canceled the interview. And I didn't. You people know that I was honest and upfront. If Cassidy comes on, I want him in person. I want him face to face. That's. I'm not going to take him any other way. I don't have to. I don't have to take him for 10 minutes. All these candidates have been on 2 and 3 segments at a time sometimes. So Cassidy needs to go. But listen, you finally got a race where you can go down a list and say, I like him, I like her, I like all of them. And you got a choice. You got a choice. I hear so many times, we ain't got no choices. Well, I'm voting against this person because I don't like that person. The only person not to like in this whole thing is Bill Cassidy. That's the only one not to like. If you look at poll numbers, this poll numbers are just dead. There is no, I have not been anywhere in this state where people are excited about Bill Cassidy. There's none. And yet you got all these people that are in the race. I just named every single one of them that I know. There may be somebody else. And you got Bobby Jindal out there, former governor, polling. I got the word that he was looking at the race, 4 or 5 weeks ago. He's polling to see because there are a lot of undecideds. But let me tell you about undecideds. Okay, this is something to remember. Because you have a lot of undecideds in November of 2025 in a race that's in 6 months or so in 26. Don't even worry about that. You should have a lot of undecideds. When people start looking at this race, and they will, and they have, but they will, as soon as the first of the year comes, this thing is on. It's on right now, actually. There are people busting their butts now. And some of these undecideds are going to start coming off, and people are going to start picking sides. The worst thing we can do is have a war in a closed primary, because I'm going to tell y'all, if you are one of those people that said, if your candidate don't get in, I'm not going to vote, or I'm going to switch over to Bill Cassidy, you really need to go check your mindset. There should be no quarreling. If your candidate gets beat, you got to go to the candidate if Cassidy makes the runoff, and I think there's a big percentage he won't even make the runoff. I think we got enough good candidates that if people would get behind these good candidates, okay, then Bill Cassidy's going to end up at 15% and out the race. Folks, I don't care how much money the guy's got. I don't know how much sucking up the Trump he does. It's amazing, though. Love Trump, got elected. Him and Trump went in. Hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump. When Trump was believing. He votes to convict the guy. He cannot tell us why he voted to make him guilty. One of the questions I want to ask, first one, if he comes on, I let him practice for 2 months. Why did you say President Trump was guilty? You want to see a guy spit his food out? You want to see him upchuck? Ask him that question. Why did you vote? You know why he won't answer it? Because then we have it on tape. Because when he voted guilty, he said, y'all wait till y'all see what I see. The man's guilty of resurrecting, or whatever you want to call it, a riot. That's what he voted he was guilty of. All of a sudden, he's kissing him on the rear end. Look at the candidates I just named. Take your time and go find out about every single one of them. Why take the time to worry about Cassidy? There's no enthusiasm there. You got Eddie responding. No, Mr. Eddie, sitting proudly at the Republican deal by Senator Cassidy with a Senator Cassidy button. That's an intimidation deal. Oh, I'm not intimidated. No, you shouldn't be. Eddie's a money guy. I guarantee you everybody running has gotten some money from Eddie Rispone. He's sending a message, hey, don't forget, this is who I'm supporting. By the way, I gave you money too. That's all it is. Eddie Rispone he's not going to deliver the votes for Cassidy. He can't. No matter what he does, he won't be able to deliver votes for Cassidy. Folks, look at the candidates. Look at them. Take your time. Go down each one of them. That's what you need to do. Don't be fooled by Cassidy's money, which is coming. How he saved Trump. He was the one. He was the one that gave him 3 nominations that would have never got across the deal had it been one of these people, the 5 or 6 I named. Any one of those people, they would have never had to worry about the vote. You think Donald Trump was worried about John Kennedy's vote? No. You think he was worried about Ted Cruz's vote? No. He wasn't worried about nobody else's vote except a couple of 3 rhino Republicans. And one of them was Bill Cassidy. Why was he worried about Cassidy? Because Cassidy had said he was guilty of something he didn't do. That's why he didn't know what Cassidy was going, because Cassidy didn't like RFK. But if Cassidy was not up for re-election, trust me, he would have voted no on every one of these. He's actually going around telling people it was his vote that got it across. He even said it's his vote that got the big, beautiful bill passed. So I'm going to tell you, uninformed people will vote for Cassidy. And people who Bill sends and helps them make a lot of money. The average person, if they're watching this race, would never vote for Bill Cassidy. Look, folks, we got a chance to vote. Look at all these candidates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 I'm counting outside of Bill Cassidy. 6 that you can go vote for. 6. I won 6. The only thing you ought to be voting against is Cassidy. By the way, I haven't heard, but if he wants to come on air, he's welcome. John, you heard me, an hour in person. We'll come to Baton Rouge. Johnny can sit right here in this chair. To the left of me. To the left of me. Right here in this chair. Microphone works, right? Okay, no, it'd be up, ready to go. I will come here for an hour and look face to face, man to man. Let's do the interview. I got a lot of questions, Bill. And since you're smarter than me, you should have a lot of answers. Anyway, remember what I said. All right, we got to take a break. 844-766-6607. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. We'll be right back here in Baton Rouge, Talk 107.3 FM. Hey, Walker.
Yeah.
John Fleming's going to call in.
Okay.
Paid for by John Fleming campaign. Republican candidates may claim they are MAGA, but John Fleming was MAGA long before MAGA was cool. That's the Fleming Washington record.
I'm John Fleming. When I went to Congress, I co-founded the strongly conservative House Freedom Caucus. This began the MAGA fight. When President Trump was first elected, I proudly accepted 3 appointments to his administration, including as President Trump's White House Deputy Chief of Staff.
In Congress, John Fleming's voting record scored 97% conservative. On immigration, John earned an A+ grade for his stand to protect our borders and American workers. He's the only U.S. Senate candidate who passed a federal law to protect your Second Amendment rights and who opposes vaccine mandates. Only U.S. Senate candidate to oppose carbon capture, a Green New Deal scam, allowing big government to take your personal property for big corporations costing taxpayers billions. Strongly pro-life for tax cuts, tight-fisted with your tax dollars. John Fleming, a principled conservative, a proven Republican MAGA leader. John Fleming, U.S. Senate.
This is Moon Griffon. You know I love a great Louisiana company, and one of those that I love is Hudco Roofing. Hudco Roofing and Exteriors is Louisiana's premier professional roofing contractor specializing in residential roofing services. Remember, your roof protects everything, all of your possessions, and most importantly, your family. And that's where Hudco Roofing comes in. These folks are not just your average roofer. They're the #1 roofing company in the state, and that's why I endorse them. Whether you need repairs or a brand new roof, Hudco Roofing has you covered. Hudco is a Certainty Select shingle master and takes every roof all the way down to the decking to make sure there's no hidden damages. Hudco Roofing is also a state-certified installer of the fortified roofing system, and that's a big deal, especially during hurricane season. Anywhere in Louisiana, you can get a free roof inspection and quote from Hudco Roofing. For quality workmanship, premium products, and unparalleled customer service, it's Hudco Roofing. I trust Hudco Roofing of Louisiana, and so can you. HudcoRoofing.com. HudcoRoofing.com. Tell them Moon sent you. This is Moon Griffon, my good friend John Blanchard. Of course, our friends at Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. You can call them at 337-366-8366 or go to MatthewJames.com, MatthewJames.com. So someone sold a business, say in 2025, they've already sold. And they're facing a big-time tax bill. Is there any solution that could help them minimize the tax exposure before the bill is due in 2026?
Yeah, Moon, look, we have some opportunities where we can help them lower their tax liability or even eliminate their tax liability. So we have a structured program to help people offset the long-term capital gain that they're facing to pay a tax bill on, or even the bonus depreciation recapture. So a lot of business owners, they take advantage of bonus depreciation to lower their taxable income. They buy an asset, they buy a vehicle, they buy maybe some kind of machinery, some kind of equipment. They utilize bonus depreciation on that, either that a piece of equipment or that piece of real estate, the building itself, to remove the taxable income that they're facing on their actual income. But what happens is whenever you sell that asset, Uncle Sam says, well, now you're owing the taxes that are due on that bonus depreciation. It's called recapture. So real estate's taxed at 25%, but all equipment is taxed up to 37%. So the more equipment you're having to recapture, the more of a tax rate you're planning on paying. So what we do is we utilize a strategy to where we can offset the taxes that they're due, and basically we can cut their bill down tremendously. So instead of them paying up to 37, 40, or 45%, they'll pay roughly about 10 to 12% versus paying 45% on taxes. So it's a significant difference, and you're keeping more of your wealth.
That's why, folks, I'm telling you, John Blanchard, Matthew James, Tax and Wealth Management, let him help you early before you get caught paying a bunch of taxes. MatthewJames.com, 337-366-8366. John, thank you as always.
From the heart of Louisiana, the voice you can't ignore. This is the Moon Griffon Show.
Mike's hot.
Hi, hello, welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show. What a day, great day to be with you. 844-766-6607. It is a Matthew James Tax Pro hotline. If you want to be part of the program, it's your opportunity. So to shut down shit in.
Hey, I got him on.
Okay, to shut down shit in, and probably in a couple of days, get through the elections. Let's see what happens tonight. All right, Treasurer John Fleming calls in. John, how you doing?
Hey, Moon. Doing great. Thank you.
Yeah, so you must have disagreed with something.
Well, I just happened to catch, I don't always get to listen in to all of your shows because I am busy at times as treasurer, but I happened to catch your segment with Blake Miguez, who is also running in this U.S. Senate campaign. And a couple of things caught my ear. One thing is he mentioned my name and said something about criticisms about carbon capture and sequestration were coming from my campaign. But Moon, his denial is not true. He has voted, and I've posted it now on my social media. Blake Miguez, since 2020, has voted 7 times in favor of carbon capture and sequestration and eminent domain by private, foreign, and domestic companies. And 3 times, at least 2, maybe 3 times, he's voted against any limitation on carbon capture and sequestration. He's made no public announcement in his position, and he raises a lot of money from that industry. So I don't know why he feels safe in saying that he opposes carbon capture and sequestration unless it hit him last night. He has been all for it since the last 5 years.
Let me ask you a question, because I was told, not by Blake, I was told by other people when I asked this question. That's why I asked Blake, and Blake was, he gave his answer, and that's his story. So what about when these other guys and ladies tell me, they said, Moon, when we were voting on this stuff, the oil and gas industry was coming and saying, look, we got this new technology. We just need y'all to approve this. I think they wanted to get where the state government would oversee it than the federal government, because this is what's been explained to me. Now, you know me, I'm not for carbon capture. I think it's ridiculous. But when they say that, is there any merit into saying that what they voted for then was basically what the oil and gas was asking for? They thought this would be some kind of, because most of them tell me they didn't even know what the technology. And by the way, you've been accused, I want you to answer now, of saying that you never said one word about carbon capture and that you never stopped it. And now they're accusing you of some bill in Obama's administration. I never did figure out what they were accusing you of. So just your thoughts on those two.
Yeah. Absolutely. Happy to answer that. Well, first of all, not having knowledge of a bill that has extremely impactful technology is no excuse. And it's not like they voted once. There have been a number of bills that they have voted many times for. And again, Blake led the effort voting for carbon capture and sequestration. And the people were not informed of this. And until recently, they didn't know. And of course, they've risen up against it now that they know what's going on, because what this does is not only put dangerous carbon dioxide into the ground, but it reduces the land values. It blocks your access to minerals. This stuff can get into your water supply, sully it in the water tables and the aquifers and all of that. So nobody buys that excuse that they didn't know what's going on, because this was not just one bill. This was a series of bills. But I guess when the oil and gas industry is putting money in your account, you're going to obviously vote for it. So that's what's happened there. Now, for me, I have always been against any of these boondoggles like wind and solar. I was opposed to Solyndra back during the Obama days when I was in the House. I got a bill passed that blocked the use of biofuels for instead of diesel for aircraft carriers when I was in the House. But I didn't learn of this technology until earlier this year. I've been busy doing what I need to do as treasurer. But when I found out about it, I just, I obviously immediately opposed it, because that's what I always do when it comes to the Green New Deal kind of scams that this thing represents. I have never voted for carbon capture. There was a Republican bill that was supported by all the Freedom Caucus members back in 2015, and it asked for a study and more accountability for carbon capture technology. But it did not fund it. It did not implement it. And every Republican was in favor of it, and every Democrat, including Nancy Pelosi, was against this bill. So I voted solidly there, and I didn't vote at all.
But John, they're using the same reason that you're using it. They're saying, I'm telling you what they're telling me, that when these bills came up, that the oil and gas and the pro-business people and the chemical plant association, all that was for these bills. So being a pro-business guy, they voted for this stuff. I'm just telling you what they're telling me. They're telling me this is very similar to what you're saying.
No, it's totally different, because, again, they voted systematically for 8 to 10 bills to bring it in that is part of the Green New Deal. It's the leftist, globalist people. I've never supported that. I've voted against those types of things. But remember, most of these votes were done when I was in the White House. Mm-hmm. I was focused on what was going on in the White House in the pandemic. I was not focused on what was happening in Baton Rouge. So again, that just doesn't fly.
Okay. No, I wanted to throw that out there because that's what's being said. Everybody wants to know what's being said. Well, that's what I'm hearing. So I wanted to make sure. All right.
Well, the Blake Miguez camp, they're trying to give him cover on this, but it's just the people who are against CCS know this, and they're on to what's going on here. They know that I'm opposed to it, and I would be opposed to it whenever it appeared, but it just happened that it only became known by most people earlier this year.
Yeah. All righty, sir. We got to move on. I appreciate your call.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. All right.
All right.
844-766-6607, the Matthew James Tax Pro. Well, let me tell you, so everybody calm down, because people say, "Oh man, Republicans attacking Republicans," and I get it. That's what makes the close primary so good. This is going to happen even more as we get to the election. And if everybody concentrated on Cassidy, it would be a better job. But this is going to happen. But once it's over in May and June, you'll have 3 or 4 or 5 months to get back together and say, come on, man, let's get behind the cause. Because at the end of the day, all these Republicans, if Cassidy makes the runoff, better be against Cassidy. Cassidy don't make the runoff, we can't lose. We can't lose. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back. Clay Young's supposed to be in the house. We'll take a break. Be right back.
President Trump believes in America. He knows we can do big things. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. That's why Trump is fighting for carbon capture.
When I'm back in the White House, I will bring back a pro-American energy policy at long last. The return of American jobs and the American dream will be powered by the return of American energy.
With carbon capture, Louisiana's oil and gas economy can thrive, creating thousands of good-paying jobs and provide massive local dollars for our schools, roads, and communities.
The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before.
Trump supports carbon capture because he believes in America and in building a stronger future for Louisiana families. To join President Trump in his fight for American energy, Louisiana jobs, and carbon capture, visit MAGAenergy.la, MAGAenergy.la. Paid for by MAGA Energy Project.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants. So
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station.
Trouble at the polls in New Jersey. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News. At least 2 polling places in New Jersey received bomb threats shortly after opening today. Democratic candidate Mikey Sherrill with this reaction.
And obviously, this is an attempt to suppress the vote here. And I don't think New Jerseyans take very kindly to that kind of tampering in our election system.
She says there are no credible threats at this time. Her opponent, Jack Ciattarelli, is hoping to return New Jersey to Republican leadership. He tells Fox and Friends.
Bill Murphy has us in this cap and trade carbon tax policy known as RGGI, the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. It's been a total failure. I'll pull us out on day one. That will lower your electricity bill.
New Jersey hasn't elected a Republican governor since Chris Christie won a second term in 2013. Virginia voters are choosing between 2 women for governor.
If Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears gathers enough election day momentum, she would become the first Black woman to lead a U.S. state. Now, already 1.4 million Virginians voted early. Still, we have seen a constant stream of activity here since polls opened at 6. And the Democrat in this race, it's former Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger. She's been considered the front runner, seeking to take the keys to the governor's mansion from the GOP. And her focus has remained on combating President Trump.
We need a governor who is working tirelessly to mitigate every harm that might be caused by a reckless and chaotic administration.
Now, Earle-Sears has hit on Spanberger's clean energy position.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff, former Vice President Dick Cheney, has died at the age of 84 from complications of pneumonia and cardiac and vascular diseases. In September of 2004, he accepted the Republican nomination for vice president.
Just as surely as the Nazis during World War II and the Soviets during the Cold War, the enemy we face today is bent on our destruction.
Cheney served as VP under President George W. Bush for 8 years. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms
new
with
mayor,
Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you
I knew
do
you were
got
doing
this.
something. I know what you
Dayquil
were
Intense
doing. You're doing a
Flu.
little
The
something
daytime
with 'em.
coughing, aching fever under your flu medicine. Uses
JTV, Jewelry Television. With 80,000
Why
jewelry
did they
looks,
just
we're
keep
kind
doing
of a
what
big deal. Even bigger with new lines of designer
Man, I know
handbags,
you changed it,
fragrances,
but it ain't
and
like you
more.
were
And
all
biggest
into
of
the
all, because
politics.
you could win a 7-night stay in Bali, spending money and thousands worth of JTV
Oh,
jewelry,
no,
making you kind of a big deal.
for a fact.
Enter by December 7th at jtv.com/sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. Then watch JTV on TV or shop jtv.com for big holiday deals.
But you're dealing with me. Ain't
As a
whole lot.
mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks
I'm
Vapor
still
Stick
chugging
provides
along, man.
soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast,
here,
so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Have you recently cut a large check to Uncle Sam? How did that feel? You're looking for a way to reduce your tax bills next year, especially if you're paying $100,000, $500,000, even more annually. Listen closely. There are strategies used by the top 1% that can significantly reduce your tax burden. There are the same little-known provisions in the tax code that ultra-wealthy individuals and even members of Congress use. At Matthew James Tax Pros in Lafayette, they specialize in helping high-income earners like business owners, physicians, attorneys, contractors, and those in the oil and gas industry keep more of what they earn. If you're tired of writing 6 or 7-figure checks to the IRS, they'll show you strategies that could cut your taxes, sometimes by half or even more. Call us today at 337-895-0-TAX. That's 337-895-0829 or visit MatthewJamesTaxPros.com. Take control of your taxes. Start today to make next April a lot less painful. Every tax situation is unique and tax savings may vary.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Mike's hot.
Hi, hello. Welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show. It is an honor and great pleasure to be with you in Baton Rouge, in conjunction with our good friends at Guarantee Broadcasting right here in the studio. Talk 107.3 FM. It's always good to be back in Baton Rouge. I was born and raised right here in Plaquemine. And by the way, I was born and raised at I was born in Lady Lake Hospital, one of our fine sponsors around the state of Louisiana. Yeah, I was born and raised. Born in Lady Lake. They didn't want to raise me. I wanted them to raise me. They didn't. They sent them back down to the parents.
I heard they asked you to leave after.
Yeah. I was the only baby they asked to leave as soon as it was born. I don't figure that out. By the way, the voice here is an old voice, old friend. Hadn't seen him in a while. I did want to tell him before I get to him, Mr. Clay Young, I got 2 producers, John and then my producer back home, and better than having 2 wives.
Wow.
How you like your first question? Wow. You're for right or wrong?
Wow. Listen,
if you missed this, you better not go.
No, let's unpack that one off the air. Sometimes it's the question that's a problem. Forget the answer.
Well, the question is a problem, but it's not a question. It was really a comment. Clay, good to see you, man. How you been?
Brother, how you been? You look good, man.
I'm hanging in there. I'm working hard. People think I ought to slow down, but I feel better now at working hard and getting after it every day.
Sleep when you're dead.
Oh, yeah. My brother used to tell me all the time that sleep was wasted. He thought food was wasted too when we eat too much. So he said
Really?
that's overrated too.
Food? I don't know about that, man. We live in South Louisiana. This is the best food in the world.
Well, but the problem is everything we do is centered around food. I got
That's
a buddy.
true.
I got a buddy of mine that says we were at lunch. This was actually months ago, and he said, so we started talking, having a conversation. He said, "Do you hear us?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "We're sitting here. We hadn't got our food yet. We're talking about what we're going to eat for supper."
I've actually been there, man. That's so funny. You get older, and sometimes around the middle of the day, you're thinking,
I'm not. I mean, my daughter's special to eat Maddie, and when she's eating supper, she won't know what's breakfast or lunch the next day. I mean, it's just. Somebody said that it's you taught her that. I said no, it's embedded in all of us. It's just where we live.
That's where we are, man. Especially down here.
All right, tell people the name of your company again, what you do.
Oh man,
I always like to help you out.
Enterprises. I appreciate that, man. We do marketing and public relations, and, all that good stuff. Everything from advertising on digital to radio to television. We do big commercial signs for people, promotional items.
Turn his mic up.
It's all that stuff, and get a little closer. Yeah. There we go. There we go. And we've been around. Next year will be 26 years.
Wow.
And I've been in media. Next year will be my 30th year and around this stuff. And so we do business here in Baton Rouge, in Lafayette, in Shreveport, and in New Orleans. And I enjoy it. I think marketing is an opportunity to serve, because when you help people in doing your job, they win.
Yeah.
They make money, they grow. And so I've always enjoyed that. In fact, my company's slogan is "We'll make you look good." And so,
nobody's ever told me that. I tell people all the time, look, my mama loves me. She never told me two things. She never told me I was smart, and she never told me I look good. Those are the two things. She never told me I was good looking or smart.
That's Jessie Mapes over there.
I know that. I need to talk to her too. I hope she sticks around a little bit.
She been has she been running from you in the building?
No,
yet?
she stays away from me, but she's smart. That means she's smart.
She's brilliant. Every time I give her a compliment, Gordy Rush gets jealous. What is that about?
Oh no, I'm not touching that. I don't touch this upper management and sales. I say the lowest. I tell people the lowest life in radio business is be on the air. And I tell people we get excited when minimum wage goes up. We just get all excited on when we're a talk show host or we're a radio guy. So no, it's all. Does she want to get on the air? We can put another mic.
Yeah, right. Well, run from it. She's a talent on the air.
We're gonna let her sell advertisement right.
That's right. On the look, she's running now. So. But yeah, man, everything's good. And since last we spoke, I chair a nonprofit, Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Foundation, and we work with law enforcement in East Baton Rouge Parish, the Louisiana State Police. We also have membership with the Shreveport Police Department and the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office. And so we support the purchase of public safety technology, cameras, license plate readers, weapons detection software. We've outfitted a couple of organizations with vests. And we have two big public safety initiatives, one in Baton Rouge called the Paige Rice Public Safety Initiative, named after Allie Rice, the LSU student who was killed about 3 years ago, and Devin Page Jr., a 3-year-old boy who was shot and killed, lying in his bed next to his sister.
Unbelievable.
And in those kids' names, we've raised north of $500,000 for crime technology we've deployed here. And in Caddo Parish, brand new, the chief and the sheriff are on fire. This initiative is Anglin Myers, named after Landry Anglin and Devin Myers. Devin was a high school basketball player who was shot and killed one evening, and Landry Anglin was a little girl visiting her grandparents. Some idiots are shooting at each other on a Sunday. She goes to the window to see what's going on and catches a bullet in the chest.
Wow. You can read about it, you can hear about it, but you almost can't believe that stuff happens.
It does.
To you sitting there watching your kid,
it does,
or a family member or friend, or you just happen to see somebody get shot like that. What a waste.
Yeah.
What a 100% waste.
People want to look that up. It's LECJF, Law Enforcement Criminal Justice Foundation.org. LECJF. And you can learn about the Inspiration Center. Big deal we're doing here in North Baton Rouge.
You see, another reason I like Clay, folks, not only can the politicians drive anywhere they want fast as they want, Clay can too.
I can.
I know you can.
Brother, I'm drinking every drop out of life until there ain't nothing left in the cup.
I know you the only one can go really fast and don't worry about it. Oh, you Clay. Okay, go ahead and go.
No. See, I missed that. I didn't catch that the way he meant that.
You missed it. Oh, I said.
Yeah, he's taking a shot over here.
Like politicians who can drive fast as they want to anywhere.
Well,
I said, you can now go anywhere you want to dealing with police and sheriffs and state troopers. And they go, hey, Clay, how you doing? Thanks for what you're doing.
I'm
go
not
ahead and go 90 miles an hour.
I'm not testing that theory, especially through Livonia, all right?
Through anyway. I can give you some more ball. I can give you a lot of them. What's the place that's gotten go up and fish some tournaments in Monroe about a half a dozen times a year?
Yeah.
And I got to go through Pollock.
Okay.
You know what? I don't even know if it's Pollock. Yeah, it is. It's Pollock. And they give me so many tickets. Really? Last time I went through there, I had ran into 2 deer. Not 1, 2. Just blew the front of my truck out the front. But it was still, I could still pull my truck and got it fixed. But when I was coming through, I actually slowed down to the speed limit. And I can tell them, they said, ooh, there's Moon again. Hey, let him go. Look at the front of his truck. He didn't already got a ticket, I'm sure. So they let me go that one time. Every time I look at my wife goes, why do you just go around those folks? I said, I don't know. They seem to like me.
They seem that.
And I'm contributing to the policeman fund.
maybe they stop you just to say hello, brother. You know?
No, they know it's me now. But when they saw the front of my truck with no front,
man,
they said, "Woo, he's having a rough day. Just let him go."
So you're like me. You keep them for a long time.
What's that?
Trucks.
I got mine 2017.
Yeah. So
it's got 170 on.
Well, you probably did that in the first 6 months. You talk about driving. You drive too.
Actually, this was. Make sure I'm telling you this right. This was this past spring.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I hit it, and what happened was, the airbag did not. The airbag was broke.
Mm-hmm.
So since the airbag the airbag didn't dislodge, and it's my fault. The guy said, "Hey, you need to fix it. It's $400 or $500." I said, "Next time I'm in, I'll fix it." I never did. I just never fixed it. So anyway, so check this out. So I get in the wreck. I was fine. The deer, one of them went flying over the top of the truck, and another one went over. They both died, and I missed a third one about 2 inches. And pulled over my truck work. I yanked all the stuff out, and I drove it around. And my buddies came, and they helped get some stuff straight. And they said, "It ain't leaking." And I drove that thing. I promise you, 7 more hours. I went fish. I went back to the camp. Hold
on. So first of all, what's your name again, brother? John. You know the saying, God takes care of babies and fools.
That's right.
You see, Moon ain't no baby, right? So what?
I can't help it. My guys came, the aerated oil, none of that. And it was pushed in a little bit. And so I said, well, you know what? I'm going to kill my fishing trip. So I called my insurance lady.
Why would you want to do that, right? Why do that?
I was up there to go fishing. I called my insurance lady. Okay, Peggy Sullivan. I said, Peggy, I had a wreck. Did some deer. I said, okay. She said, well, you want to bring your truck in? I said, no, I'm going fishing. She said, well, Moon, what happened? I said, my buddies are here. And I'm fishing. It was a practice day. It was a Friday. So they came over and said, man, we don't see nothing leaking. Yeah. And they had one little bent fender deal. They cut it. And then I drove it an hour and 15 minutes back to the camp I was staying. Never had a problem. Drove it back hour and 15 minutes, fished the tournament, got my butt drilled. I was thinking more about deer than fishing. Then I drove 4 hours home, and my truck was okay. And then the next day I put it in the shop.
You know how you know she knows about him when he starts the sentence, I hit some deer.
Right.
I hit a deer.
No.
I hit multiple deer.
Who's hitting multiple deer, by the way?
The thing about it is,
right?
I quit hunting when I was
At
young.
one time.
I quit hunting. I like to fish. I fish year round, cold, don't matter.
Yeah.
So I quit hunting. It's my first 2 deer. You see, most people kill deer with a bow and arrow.
Doing an F-150.
I got mine with a F-150. I got 2. And so you know what the greatest thing about coming back, living in South Louisiana now for the last 11 and a half years is they didn't ask me was I okay. They didn't ask me if I took care of my truck. They asked me, did you put the deer in the back and take them home? That was the most important thing. Did you keep them?
Yeah, what'd you do? You make some sausage or something?
And so the guy that was behind me 30, 40 minutes, he said, how many deer you kill? I said, I don't know. I know I hit 1. I think I hit 2. He said, yeah, they both land dead as can be on the side of the road. So we called a wildlife fisher, and they probably wouldn't take care. The best news was I was okay. And
that is the best news.
And the best news was my truck did not have to be totaled. They fixed it. I've been running with it since for over a year.
My man.
For 6
Might be
months.
your
in.
lucky truck. You might need to keep that truck.
That's what I'm saying. I wish it'd help me catch more fish. All right, let me take a break. His name is Clay Young. Clay has also been in the radio business. He's been a host. He's hosted with us and for me before, and he's
doing TV across the street over here too.
Do what?
Doing television across the street at WAFB.
I'm not surprised.
When you want to come do that, man? Come be on the show.
It's the face for radio. I've always said it's the face for radio. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Anything you want to talk about?
That was a fun story.
That's a true story too.
We've been on this bayou for 7 generations.
He's Blake Miguez, and he's the only MAGA candidate for U.S. Senate.
My grandfather, he started a shipyard and built a simple 16-foot boat. And you know how he sold his boats? He looked in the person's eyes, he spoke to their heart, he shook their hand, and he gave them his word. The reason why I'm running for the U.S. Senate is to protect the American dream for our children, our grandchildren, because at the end of the day, the most selfless thing that we do is raise our children to be greater than us. All this amazing success that we're seeing from President Trump would not be possible if Bill Cassidy would have got his way and President Trump would have been impeached. God always blesses us with a new leader. He did that with our president, and look at the amazing work that he's doing. I can tell you that if someone gives me the honor of being their voice in D.C., I'm never going to let them down. People from little villages can go big places. I'll never forget who I am, where I come from, or the people on the bayou who sent me.
I'm Blake Miguez, candidate for United States Senate, and I approve this message. Paid for by Blake Miguez for Louisiana.
Oh, man. Y'all hear me brag about Shucks all the time in Abbeville, the great seafood, the fresh seafood off the boat every day. Shucks has done it again. Their new location, 1301 Bayou View Drive in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Shucks has come to Lake Charles, Louisiana, not too far down from the casinos. All the great seafood you've been having at Shucks in Abbeville is now in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Whether it be Shucks in Abbeville or Shucks in Lake Charles, you're going to get fresh seafood daily. Shucks, come check us out. You're going to love it.
Team KMLB is giving you the chance to win a custom side-by-side with help from Yingling, the oldest brewery in America. 6 generations of brewing excellence are giving you the chance to win the ultimate all-terrain vehicle. Just stop by participating locations and scan the QR code to get in. The grand prize giveaway happens at the end of November. Don't miss your chance to drive into 2026 in style. Must be 21 or older. No purchase necessary. Drink responsibly. See station website for official rules.
The Best Stop, the #1 specialty meat store in Acadiana, just off I-10 and Scott, Highway 90 in Broussard, I-49 in Karen Crow, Toledo Bend, Katy, Texas, and now in Baytown, just off I-10. Now on their website, beststopinscott.com, you can order Best Stop to go. Yep, Best Stop to go features any and all things Best Stop that you can order to go at either the Scott or Karen Crow locations. Then you drive up and it's ready for you. This includes all hot food too at beststopinscott.com, and look for the to-go button. Plus, Best Stop products are available in Acadiana grocery stores. But if you don't see the Best Stop in your favorite store, ask and then ask again. For the best food in Acadiana, make it the Best Stop. Just off I-10 and Scott and Highway 90 in Broussard, I-49 in Karen Crow, Toledo Bend, Katy, Texas, and now in Baytown, just off I-10. Order Best Stop to go to at beststopinscott.com. That's beststopinscott.com. The Best Stop. They got some good groceries, folks.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. And people say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Atlas Foundation Repair, 800-256-1010. Louisiana-owned Atlas Foundation Repair, 800-256-1010. Call Tony Arpino. I've known him for years. 1-800-256-1010.
Mike's hot.
Hey, hello, welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show, beautiful Baton Rouge, conjunction with Talk 107.3 FM. Clay Young, my special guest. Appreciate Clay coming. Hey, Clay, and I don't want to get you too deep in anything because we stay in touch. We hadn't been in touch.
I know, man.
You're watching Shutdown. You still following the politics like you always have because I know you always followed it and stayed informed. And I think it ends this week as soon as the election's over tonight.
Yeah,
they're gonna say, well, everything's better.
Yeah, it's pretty bad too, man. Just we've had 21 of these over the course of America's history, and every time it happens, it's frustrating. And I don't know why you don't get back to business. The people are suffering on the streets. I got to travel this week, and I'm dreading what it's going to be like to be in an airport with diminished staff in there. So I'll get there even earlier than normal. But I mean, man, politics.
You better hope the air controller or the pilot doesn't decide halfway through the trip. You know what? I'm tired. I ain't getting paid. I'm gonna go home and get out and jump out in the parachute. Clay's go. Don't tell me that.
Gee, thanks, Moon.
No, but just you're right though because I've heard the horrors already.
Yeah, I just thanks for bringing that up. You still got that job at the suicide hotline, by the way.
1-800-MOON. You're really in trouble.
It's like, but no, man. I hate it, and I think I watched the interview the president did.
CBS.
Yeah, both the one that aired, and then I went and watched the uncut version, which I tell people always watch uncut versions because you don't get to chop something into 12 minutes or 8 minutes. You get this, and it was about 90 minutes. And the crux of the matter is it's posturing. I know that the speaker and members of the House and Senate want to get back to business. I've never seen John Thune that angry as he was last week. So I don't know, man. The posturing is turning people off. And to a great degree on both sides, people just want folks who get elected to just do their jobs.
Clay, if the problem that's coming, and nobody wants to listen to me, but I've been shouting this for years, is that $38 trillion in debt is unrealistic. It's probably pushing to 50.
Yeah.
And that's Republicans and Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
And I had John Kennedy on. He comes periodically. And I said, John, I don't understand with all these grown-ups. And you do realize that we put ourselves in a position that the only reason our economy can roll is people are still buying our debt.
Yeah.
So what happens when they quit buying it? Well, he actually brought it up. He said, well, Moon, we're good on the economy because people are buying our debt. I said, okay, let's say we stop buying the debt. He said, we're in big trouble. I said, what kind of people, Republican, Democrat, I don't care, what kind of people would go to Washington and put us in a situation that communist China or somebody like that can quit buying our debt and it destroys everything this country's been about? What kind of people
who are not impacted on the ground floor? That's the thing.
But what I'm telling you is 95% of the people or 98% of the people would be hurt.
I know, but
me and you would be hurt.
But when you are not impacted by everyday reality, it's the same thing I tell people about crime, and I talk to people about making investments into areas that keep kids in school or get them job ready. And there are a lot of people who feel like, that's a waste of time. That's up to the parents to do that. And then to a degree, that's true. But if the parents aren't doing it, somebody's got to, because you'd rather a kid be employed than shooting at you. And the same thing goes with people in government. If we, like you just stated it, you're selling debt.
Yeah.
And
that ain't good in the long run. You know what? All this inflation is caused 100% of this debt.
Yeah.
Printing money. Go read your history books.
Yeah.
And I heard, I don't know what's Nick Saban. I watched the clip the other day, and he was talking about kicking people and these kids off the team and giving them second chances. And he mentioned somebody, I don't know if it was at LSU or whatever, but he said that person that everybody wanted me to kick off the team probably would have ended up in bigger trouble. Yeah. He said, but since I kept him on the team and I disciplined him, he came back and became a good player. He played in the NFL for 11 or 15 years. Yeah. And he said, now he's a president of a company. He said, had I kicked him off the team, where was he going? He said, so when somebody just say kick a kid off the team because they're bad, it's kind of close to what you're saying. We got these kids that if they got to make a choice and the parents aren't there and nobody's there to help, we got a problem.
Man, we love, and going back to what you were saying about the debt and watching what happens here. Confidence in Washington is not great right now. Now,
should it be?
No. People may have confidence in their individual representation, or people who say support the president, they may have confidence in him, but no confidence in the structure, or vice versa. And I don't know how long we can sustain that, because there's so much ahead of us that needs to get done.
One of the things that we've created, though, Clay, and why people don't understand the debt, the deficits, and all that stuff, is that we've created dependency.
Yeah.
And what we got to do, see, what you're talking about is having programs to get kids off so they can go be the best they can be. But
Go do something for yourself.
But you create dependency.
Yeah.
When you create dependency, then what happens is those people stay dependent the rest of their life.
Well, that's about control.
That I know, but that's where we are.
That's
you
about
cannot
control.
keep creating dependency.
No, you can't. But look, you're a father. I'm a father. You raise kids to get to a position in life where they don't need you, but that's not the way most politicians think. They need to be needed. That's how they keep their job.
Yeah, well, running up the debt and creating a dependency lifestyle is never good. I tell people all the time, a person ought to be working to eat, to clothe themselves and their families, and to put a roof over their head. Yeah. Those are the three things you go to work for every day. Now, everything we get to do outside of that, we go enjoy life. And I was at the beach with you one year. That was fun.
Boy, that was fun.
That was fun, wasn't it?
We got to tell that story.
Oh, no, that take all day. But what I'm saying is, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
But the reason you go to work, you got to be able to feed your family.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No, man. I love this time of the year. The weather is really, really great. And you could be outside. It's good gumbo weather, good fire pit weather to be outside. And you're still doing a great job, man. I appreciate you. I got to be in Lafayette in a couple weeks. I may pop by and see you over there.
Love it for you to come by, and I'll take you to eat.
All right.
You paying. You may as well. All right. That's Clay. We'll take a break. Be right back. Landry Vineyards. Yeah, North Louisiana, just outside Monroe. And produce the finest Louisiana wine.
Man.
Not only are they passionate about growing wine grapes and making Landry Vineyard wine, they also have cottages and RV sites you can rent, tours, live music on Saturdays, and tasting Monday through Saturday. Available in over 650 stores throughout Louisiana. I encourage you to visit and try Landry wine directly from Landry Vineyards. This is another great Louisiana company that has my full support, and they're Louisiana certified. Learn more about their wines and their vineyards online at LandryVineyards.com. That's LandryVineyards.com. This is Moon Griffon. I love the wines from this great Louisiana company, Landry Vineyards, and so will you. Go visit their beautiful winery and find them in your local grocery store. And if they don't have Landry Vineyards wine, ask and ask again. LandryVineyards.com. LandryVineyards.com. In Louisiana, oil and gas is more than just a job. The backbone of our economy and our way of life. For generations, the energy industry has powered opportunity, supported hundreds of thousands of jobs, driving billions in tax revenue and funding vital coastal restoration projects. Now the stakes are even higher. A strong energy sector in Louisiana means American energy independence, new sustainable technologies, and a brighter future for our community. Join the Grow Louisiana Coalition today. Stand with the industry that drives Louisiana forward. Visit growlouisianacoalition.com to learn more and join today.
Are you ready to ditch the itch this season and take your backyard back? With J&J Exterminating, getting rid of what's bugging you is what they do every day. From mosquitoes to ants to no-see-ums, J&J will make your pests go away. J&J provides mosquito one-time treatments for special events or monthly maintenance control programs. Call or go online for a free estimate from a fully certified technician. J&J knows what works in Louisiana's climate. Protect your home. Get the shield.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom. Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it. I got the job. I can't believe it.
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Did you know that 1 in 14 children experience homelessness at some point in time in their life? The Gifting Grace Project, Acadiana's homeless children's outreach, seeks to help them. Go to giftinggraceproject.com to partner with us and donate today.
Proving that wisdom and volume can coexist, this is the Moon Griffon Show.
Mike's hot.
Hi, hello, welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. And, of course, we have friends that talk 107.3 FM right here in Baton Rouge, guaranteed broadcast. Appreciate Clay coming by. It's been a while. We hadn't been able to catch up, and it was good to talk to him, always is. So, I'll tell you what, by the way, Walker, maybe you know John, maybe you can look him in. I hadn't checked out. Did they name the LSU? Do you know if they named the LSU president? They were meeting at 9 this morning.
Yeah, not that I see.
And I have not gotten any news on that. So if you got it, you can text me, email me, or whatever. I'm just curious to see if they named the new president. The word was they were going to name the new president. They were meeting at 9. I thought it'd be pretty quick. Maybe it's not going to be pretty quick. I'm checking all my news sources. I hadn't seen it yet. So I said, what's the big deal? It's become a big deal. And I just figured they'd done it pretty quick. Maybe they're having a big fight. This is Louisiana. You know, things can be political pretty good. All right. So, by the way, everybody gets mad at me when I talk about this stuff, but I'm going to do it anyway. I talk a lot about the carbon capture and all that craziness. Bill Gates reboots on climate. Wall Street Journal says Bill Gates has changed his mind. It ain't going to be no catastrophe. It's not going to kill us. Oh, he's still concerned about it, but it's climate change won't lead to humanity's demise. I mean, this is one of the guys that pushed it, probably made money on the lie. Bill Gates, you know, guy that made all that kind of money, so now he's smart in everything. It's amazing. By the way, meanwhile, across the pond, taxpayers are spending $200 million on a scheme to help some of the world's biggest companies achieve net zero, despite civil servants admitting it could be seen as greenwashing. The climate aid money going toward a carbon market project, which will provide offset to companies to compensate for the environmental harm they create, despite officials acknowledging that there is a reputational risk. Folks, everybody's starting to understand this. Biggest deal of the steam has secured so far in the Brazilian state of Pará. Hope I'm saying it right. We'll meet COP leaders later this week, currently caught up in legal action. Folks, the whole scheme is starting to fall apart all over the country. Because one of the things that I'm hearing is that, hey, Moon, By the way, I'm going to meet with every one of them they want to meet. I'll go privately. I'll buy them lunch if they want me to. Starting to hear more and more of them saying, well, man, when we go overseas, we got to have these carbon capture stuff. We got to have these. Got to have this on our record. Overseas is where it's going to fall first because that's the Looney Tunes that started all this. And then proving my point that I've said, Air Products, and by the way, I don't know the company, probably a great company. Another story donates $18,000 to fund emergency response training for high school students. Ponchatoula Volunteer Fire Department High School Emergency Training and Education recently received $18,000 donation from the Lake Mara Park Community Fund. The money supported by Air Products Foundation supports the scholarship fund for 10 students to participate in Louisiana High School firefighting training program. And you say, well, what's the big deal about that? Because what I'm finding out is most of the companies that are involved with carbon capture all over the state have found ways in the communities. And the best PR you can give a community is go hand out money. And that's what this is. I don't know the company. I just been watching this from a distance. Okay. And they have a right to do what they want with their own money. They have a right to do that. But I'm just telling y'all, and I've been noticing this for a while now. And these companies are just finding ways to give money to the community because they want to be good corporate citizens. But please don't go against carbon capture. That's what's going on. And this has been going on for a while. By the way, I was just informed Board of Supervisors just went into executive session after the finalists had a chance to make a final statement. John, that's where we are. So they let them say a few more words. And the Board of Supervisors just went into, if they already know who's going to do this, this ought to be pretty quick. And if you find out, folks, I'm just kind of curious who the new president is. I'm just really, really curious who the president's going to be. By the way, the last thing on this is that it's hard for me to read Bob Marshall's articles on climate change. He was a sports guy, and now he's an expert on the climate. Pulsar Prize-winning Louisiana environmental journalist. Man, everything he writes, most of it's like misinformation. Maybe do you know what, John? Maybe if I start lying, I'll be the award-winning Moon Griffon Show. All I got to do is start lying. Huh?
That's it. That's
all I got to do is lie, right? Lie, make up stuff as it go, and I might win an award. Bob wrote another article. Let's see if I can get the deal of it. Sea levels are soaring at the fastest rate in 4,000 years. How in the hell do you know that? 4,000 years. Sea level, it's what Bob Marshall. Sea levels are roaring at the fastest rate in 4,000 years. Who does he know is 4,000 years old? You realize sea levels, the fact is sea levels do come up and down. It's a cyclical thing. It's happened. Has nothing to do with fossil fuels and man. Nothing. It's been doing it 4,000 years ago. So that means 4,000 years it was soaring. 4,000 years ago, what kind of fossil fuels were used back 4,000 years ago? How many people were around 4,000 years ago for breathe out that bad carbon dioxide? See, but it's so stupid when they say stuff. Recent scientific research indicates the combination of surging Gulf and subsidence is causing this. Gulf could put 87% of coastal wetlands underwater by 2050. I'll take that bet. Hey, Bob, what you want to bet? I'll bet money that's BS. Now, that's 24 more years I'd have to live, John. I'd be 88. I just want to collect my money. If John would like to bet on that. What you laughing at?
Oh, I'm not laughing. I'm laughing.
If I could be here at 88 years old, would Bob be around to pay me my bet?
See, that's what you got to think about.
I know,
right?
but how do you know what happened 4,000 years ago? I call that an uneducated guess. Bob says all those scientific facts mean that unless the world begins reducing the use of oil and gas, And Louisiana's coastal zone could be very close to Gonzales for the next generation of Louisiana. How many of you people think that the coast is going to be next to Gonzales in 24 years? I will take all bettors, but I want to be paid. That's what the guy's telling people. Whoever reads the Devil's Advocate reads this crap. We start reducing oil and gas. It won't be coastal erosion you have to worry about. It would be people erosion. We won't be around. We won't be able to survive. We won't be able to survive winters, heat, hurricanes, or nothing. Can you imagine a hurricane hitting? There was no oil and gas, diesel, none of that, and we had to rebuild. And we had to go out there and save people. These people, they make no sense. He says, he's talking about Jeff Landry. He's an all-man turned politician and not a noted science skeptic. I wish Jeff was a science skeptic. He spent years calling climate science a hoax. Me too. And claims Louisiana's future is more oil and gas production. Because it's true. Even though the sector now makes up about 4.5% of state income and ranks 15th in total employment. Hey, Bob, either we got oil and gas in 25 years or we don't have much of a country. You want to fight a war, you better have a lot of oil and gas. You want to grow crops, you better have a lot of oil and gas. You want to make things and build things, you better have a lot of oil and gas. You want to be able to live and feed your family, you better have a lot of oil and gas. You want to be able to defend your property, you better have a lot of oil and gas. Everything you want to do, you want to be able to fly somewhere, you better have a lot of oil and gas. It's so stupid to watch somebody, sports writer. You realize, John, this guy was a sports writer. Now he's an expert on the climate. Now he's talking about 4,000 years ago. They have not risen, the seas have not risen since this much in 4,000 years. Well, who recorded that 4,000 years ago? And what caused that 4,000 years ago? Stupidity on the rise at the Devil's Advocate. How they let Bob Marshall kill these trees is unbelievable to me. All right, we got to take a break. More to come. We'll be right back.
I'm John Fleming, and I authorized and paid for this ad.
Louisiana is under attack. Tons of carbon dioxide gas being injected under our lands and lakes, financed by your federal tax dollars. A financial scam. Government using private property without a property owner's permission, promoted by Louisiana politicians. It's dangerous. The escape of this gas killed thousands in Africa. It's wrong. Let's stop it now.
John Fleming, Senate.
Wildlife Land Group is United Country office in Lafayette. United Country has been in business for over 100 years, folks. Selling land is what they do best. Timberland, farmland, hunting, recreational land, commercial land.
I got them.
You see ranch properties, cattle ranch, they do it all, folks. Jay Davidson is the broker license in Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Why don't you give them a call? 337-345-1797. That's Wildlife Land Group, 337-345-1797.
Fall is here, and it's time to fire up your fall at Stein Home & Yard. Great deals on great outdoor products like the Charbroil Big Easy Outdoor Air Fryer. That's right, a propane-powered outdoor air fryer. Perfect if you like frying a turkey for the holidays. This one will cook up to a 16-pound turkey or chicken in an outdoor air fryer from one of the biggest names in outdoor cooking, Charbroil. Want to heat up your outdoor space? Freestanding steel patio heaters that can heat up to 250 square feet, $129.99 on sale at Stein. Fire up your fall and make sure you enjoy your outdoors with some nice fall decor like pumpkins and hay bales in stock now at your local Stein Home & Yard. The place to go to fire up your fall with great outdoor fire pits and solo stoves, plus outdoor furniture so you can sit and relax and enjoy fall weather that's coming in. Check them out, steinhome.com. That's steinhome.com, or visit your local Stein Home & Yard, a great Louisiana company.
Have you recently cut a large check to Uncle Sam? How did that feel? If you're looking for a way to reduce your tax bills next year, especially if you're paying $100,000, $500,000, even more annually, listen closely. There are strategies used by the top 1% that can significantly reduce your tax burden. There are the same little-known provisions in the tax code that ultra-wealthy individuals and even members of Congress use. At Matthew James Tax Pros in Lafayette, they specialize in helping high-income earners like business owners, physicians, attorneys, contractors, and those in the oil and gas industry keep more of what they earn. If you're tired of writing 6- or 7-figure checks to the IRS, they'll show you strategies that could cut your taxes, sometimes by half or even more. Call us today at 337-895-0TAX. That's 337-895-0829 or visit MatthewJamesTaxPros.com. Take control of your taxes. Start today to make next April a lot less painful. Every tax situation is unique and tax savings may vary.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants. So
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose, a whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
If nothing else, he's the loudest voice in Louisiana. This is the Moon Griffon Show.
Mike's hot.
Hey, hi, hello. Welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show. I want to thank our friends at Guarantee Broadcast and Talk 107.3 FM in Baton Rouge for letting us come in and do the program. By the way, before I got a guy that just called in. I want to visit with him a few minutes. I keep reading all these stories overseas, all this Green New Deal, climate change, Bill Gates now saying none of that's true. Watch how many of these countries just start falling on their rear end financially because they bid in all this Green New Deal. We're going to eventually, if people are listening, you don't have to do any carbon capture because they're not going to do it over there either. They're not going to be able to. Let's go to phone lines. Ed Tarpley joins. Ed, how you doing?
Hey, Moon, I'm doing great today. Thank you.
By the way, I got calls from people, and I don't know. I didn't hear the governor say it, but I don't know if it was inviting people to come on my program. I thought you were one of them, and maybe his attorney come have a debate on my show. Did you hear anything like that?
Yes. The governor challenged me on Saturday to have a debate with his executive counsel, Angelique Friel, on your show.
About what?
About the congressional redistricting litigation and about all that's happened with the drawing of the unconstitutional gerrymander district that we think the Supreme Court is going to throw out. And so, yes, that's what the governor the governor's made some statements that I disagree with, and I think he's trying to put some spin on this case that's not really accurate. And I'm willing to discuss it with anybody that he would like for me to discuss it with.
She was on with me a week or two ago, and that's fine. By the way, the governor didn't call me. If he'd have called me, I'd have told him that's fine. If y'all want to come on and do attorney to attorney, I have no problem with that.
Well, hey, look, I'd like to do it. I mean, look, we know now that what the legislature did in January of 2024 was a tremendous mistake.
Yeah.
It was a racial gerrymander. The district that was drawn was unnecessary. The legislature did not have to do it because the federal court never ordered the legislature to draw this map.
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there, because I've been saying that the time began. When you say it never ordered, I want you to explain that, because what would an order look like? Or they were given options. They weren't ordered to do anything. They were given options. Am I wrong by saying that?
No, you're absolutely right. Under the Constitution, the state always has the authority to to draw the congressional districts. That's reserved to the states under the Constitution. But there was litigation taking place challenging the 2022 map, and the state had defended the 2022 map during 2022 and 2023. But suddenly, in January of 2024, the state decides not to defend the map any longer, and basically to give up the fight at that point. And Moon, the state could have gone to a trial on the merits in March of 2024 and defended that map. And if Judge Dick had ruled against the state, and if she had issued a new map, well, guess what? The state could have appealed that to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals and on to the Supreme Court. We did not have to draw the Cleo Fields district. We did not have to do that.
Ed, you are saying what I've been saying. Okay, I know you know it better, but I always said if you'd have done nothing, it would have been the smartest thing. Let her draw a map. They said, well, we were about Mike Johnson and Steve Scalise. I said, that's even better because those are the two top House Republicans. There's no way it wouldn't have went to the Supreme Court. But had we never drawn that map, we would never got Cleo Fields, and the courts would have ruled in our favor. But their argument is, we went to the court. They sent it back down to Judge Dick. They sent it back down to the state. But if Judge Dick had drawn that map, I would have took my chance that if Judge Dick drew the map, once he got to the courts, that was going to be thrown out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, there's no question about it. I mean, the state should have defended the 2022 map. Look, people don't remember that in 2022, the legislature went all around the state holding hearings. The road show. I mean, John Stefanski was chairman on the House side, Sharon Hewitt on the Senate side. They held hearings. I went to a hearing in Alexandria. I mean, the people from the community had a chance to testify about the congressional districts. And then, of course, the legislature passed the map in 2022. Governor John Bel Edwards vetoed it, and they came back and overrode the veto. I mean, all of the work that was put into preparing the 2022 map, they should have defended that all the way to the Supreme Court, Moon. They should have done that. They didn't do it.
Let me ask another quick question because I don't have a lot of time. And I had Bo Boye in yesterday, and
I heard.
Well, Bo's comment that maybe we're not going to get a ruling the next June, and and that's what I wanted to say. Under no circumstances, and Bo actually said it. Under no circumstances will we have this Cleo Fields in the same districts that we have now go again. There's no way we can allow this. But what if the Supreme Court doesn't rule between November and December? Are you concerned about Cleo sticking around?
Absolutely. If the Supreme Court waits until June to hand down their ruling, the Cleo Fields district will be intact. I mean, and he will be reelected again. I mean, that's what's going to happen. Look, we're depending on the Supreme Court to rule quickly. Normally, they don't rule quickly. Normally, they take their time on cases of this magnitude. This is a huge case.
But Ed, we were waiting in last June to get a ruling until they decided to rehear stuff. I mean, it's no way they can wait.
That's exactly right. Well, look, let me tell you what. We don't know what they're going to do, but if they wait until June to issue a ruling, we're stuck with having to have the Cleo Fields district again.
Boy, that's almost shameful. And
that would be
by the way,
terrible.
Ed, let me say this again. Let me say this again. If you'd never drawn a map, we're not in this position.
No question about it. If we'd never drawn, look, we did not have to do it. And let me tell you, for people to say that the federal court ordered the legislature to draw the map, that is totally false. The federal court did not order the legislature to draw the map. There is no order that's in existence that says that. None.
Yeah. Ed, I appreciate it, man. We'll do it again. It was a short segment, but I appreciate it.
Well, look. If anybody wants to come on your show and debate this, I'll be glad to do it because look, what happened in 2024 was a failure of courage, Moon. Yeah. It was a failure of moral courage. We should have had the courage. Governor Landry should have had the courage to defend the 2022 district. All right. It's just that simple.
Got to go. If they call you, welcome to come back. All right, we got to take a break. See you. All right, folks.
Bye-bye.
That's it.